the Most High God knew that at this point in time, we will forget the Sabbath day. And we will what? We will be working on the Sabbath day. You understand? Because a lot of our people, like you said, you came out of the church, right? When are we taught the Sabbath day is? When are we taught that? Usually in the Christian church. What do they tell us the day of rest is?
Well, they don't even keep it like this.
They don't keep it at all. They don't keep it properly at all.
Yeah.
But even though
they call it the Sunday, but
there we go. You see that?
They don't even keep that correctly.
Right. So, like I said,
so what I was reading in the Bible and what people was doing, it was contrary. So that's why I stopped going to church.
On Nehemiah 10 verse 31. So we already got that. You're not supposed to work today, right? That's just one step on how you keep the Sabbath day holy. Guess what? There's other ways into how to keep the Sabbath day holy. God is going to tell us out of the Bible. Nehemiah 10 verse 31. We're going to see if the world is living up to what God says. Because when you ask people normally if they love God, how many people usually tell you no?
No, they usually don't.
Exactly.
Just like a lot of times I think him and you go, when y'all call people and you
ask
about, but the Bible also says that he who turned away from hearing the law, even his prayers is abominable.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Now
So
you on it.
A lot of times that's where that curses come in when you say it. People don't realize that they are cursed because God made us to serve him.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times people don't know that.
So I want to go back to that point because you're absolutely right. The majority of the time when we ask our people if they love God, right? Nobody says no. Everybody say they love God, right? But now we're going to see if they truly love God based on their actions. You understand?
You don't keep his commandments.
There we go.
Read on.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 10, verse 31. And if the people of the land bring wares or any victuals upon the Sabbath day.
It says the people of the land. Ware is like furniture, right?
Right.
A mattress, furniture. Victuals will be food. Right. So we got Popeyes, we got Burger King, we got Circle K, McDonald's.
Right.
This is what the Bible is talking about.
Oh, so you saying
this
like,
is where in victuals.
Like if you go to Popeyes, you participate in them violating the Sabbath.
That's what God is saying. I'm going to read it to you one more time. Read it again.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 10, verse 31.
Go ahead.
And if the people of the land bring anywhere.
So anywhere, that will be clothing. Right. Once again, that will be furniture. Right. That will be cell phones. Whatever you want, right? And victuals, once again, it goes back into food. So God says if anybody does that, when?
Or any victuals on the Sabbath day.
Which is when? Today, right? At this very point. Read on.
To sell that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath day.
You hear that? It says we were not supposed to buy it of them on the Sabbath day. You understand? Right. Why? Because we understood that today, at this point, is God's holy day. This is how we keep the Sabbath holy. You understand that? So, you ever heard that before?
But at first, the way I misunderstood was that
Exodus 16,
if we go and patronize people on this holy day, that means we're participating in what they're doing. They violating. So we kind of violating because we. If
you participate in what they're doing, which is what, the following the Sabbath day, you are going to be a part of that.
Okay,
because
that part didn't come on until now.
And that's why the Most High said that we are separate people.
Right.
Meaning what? We're not supposed to do exactly the things that other nations do. You understand that? There we go. Now I'm going to show you something. Read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 23. And he said unto them, this is that which the Lord has said, tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath.
Right, so this is the day before the Sabbath day, right? Let's see what they do. Go ahead.
Unto the Lord, bake that which ye will bake today.
You know, what is baking? When you bake something, you're doing what? Cooking, right? So it says, bake what you're going to bake today. This is the day before the Sabbath, right? Read on.
And see that ye will see.
That means boil. Read on.
And that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning.
So it says whatever. Now, I kind of seen the look on your face once you read that.
I used to cook on Saturday.
I want you to say that one more time.
But I thought that when Jesus said, it is lawful to do good. I'm home.
You thought, okay. So you thought when he said it's lawful to do good, that means you can cook, right? Because
that means I can feed me.
Nah, that's not what he's talking about. Read it one more time. I'm going to show you. I'm going to make it plain for you. Read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 23. And he said unto them, this is that which the Lord has said, tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath.
Right, go ahead.
Unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today.
Read on.
And seed that which you will seed, and that which remaineth overlay up for you to be kept until the morning.
So what is he telling you? He's telling you that what?
Prepare for the seventh.
Prepare for the Sabbath day, the seventh day, right?
Yeah.
So he's saying whatever food you got left over, save it for the next day. That's called what? What do we call that when we say food? We done cooked the day before, and we say it again?
Leftovers.
That's called leftovers.
That's
You understand?
right.
So that's how you know the Most High is a black man.
Right.
We been eating leftovers. The Most High, the Bible is a truest book on planet Earth.
That's right.
This is how you know this is our book.
Right.
Because we still do these things today, don't we? God says what? Whatever you got left over, save it for the next day. Leftovers, right? Why though? Why did he say that? Why you can't reheat it up the next day? Why you can't cook? The Most High God is telling us that that's how you keep the Sabbath day holy. Do you see that?
Yeah.
You see how plain and simple that is?
Right.
But guess what? In the Christian church, when you in the church, what do everybody do once church break out?
Bring it out.
What they do?
They go to restaurants and eat.
They go out to eat, right?
They go out
We
to
go to corral. Hey, I know for a fact, my family
I
members,
used
they
to
had
manage
their
a
own
restaurant,
church.
and that's when we get the business.
That exactly.
So church crowd break out.
Exactly. You see that?
Yeah.
So we're showing you the hypocrisy in Christianity for one.
Right.
And we also showing you that what? These are the commandments that God told us to keep to this very day.
All this confusion going on.
Uh-huh.
I talk about most of the time, most people, they only react by they see the majority of the people do. Because I believe you read from King James, right?
Right.
What you got to look at too, the New King James version. It don't say.
Yeah, it's a lot of
It
words
don't
they
have it
changed
in
up.
there says I am black. I don't look at it because I told you I seen you guys yesterday,
Right.
and I didn't even know that says that in the Bible.
Right.
And I happened to look, and I saw the two parts in the Bible
Uh-huh.
where the Lord said I am black.
Right. And they changed it to dark.
Matter of fact, there's three places if I ever think of when the Bible described him. He described the black man.
Right.
Exactly.
So
Now, based on what you just said, right?
I'm talking about all this confusion that goes on.
There is a lot of confusion. I got another thing too. What's happening in the world today? You know what's going on with Kanye West?
Yeah, that man done lost his mind.
Okay, now, all right. Why do you say he lost his mind? Why you say that?
I think something mentally wrong. I believe a lot of things that goes on is come from curses, from sinning.
But my question: what did he do to make you think that he's crazy?
That he's crazy.
Yeah. Why you say that?
The things that he say.
Like what?
Well, I think demonic spirits, satanic thoughts, all them things.
Do you know what he said though? What did he say? The recent comment that Kanye West put up, right?
One thing he said, Trump is his father. Other than he said so many crazy things.
All right, so now I want to go into one of the last comments he made, right? Probably about a couple of days
Oh,
ago.
you talking about slavery? It was our fault.
No, the part where he mentioned that the blacks are the Jews. Now they said that he was anti-Semitic, right? They said that he's crazy, right? They're saying a lot of these things.
No, I'm saying that, yeah, they might be saying it.
Now, but the reason why I'm asking you is because the reason why a lot of our people say, oh, Kanye West crazy is because that's what they pushing in the media.
Right.
You understand? But a lot of our people don't really understand that what he's doing is actually showing you that we the true Jews according to the Bible.
That's right.
Everything that you just said, the Most High is black. The real Jews are black.
Right.
That's what Kanye West is saying. You understand?
Oh,
And they blackballing him for that. You understand that? But once again, they're gonna make it seem like he's crazy because they don't want you to know that what he's saying is actually according to the Bible.
I already know.
You understand that, bro?
When I just learned that yesterday when you guys, I guess you were talking to a pastor, and and he said that he had the New James. He said they was debating about whether he had the New James or the King James.
Right.
And then I had both of them books right in my hand when I was seeing that, and I happened to look at both of them. I was like, one of them took it out in the New James,
Right.
New King James took it out, and the King James still had it in there.
Right.
I like, oh man.
Now, I'm gonna go back to something.
A lot of things.
We spoke earlier about righteousness, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things you have to do to be righteous according to God is what? What we talked about. What's today?
Keep all this commandments.
Sabbath day. Now, what do you have to do on the Sabbath day so far based on what we went over? How you keep it holy?
About not doing about not doing your own work, your own thing.
No working, right?
Yeah.
What else?
To keep it holy,
Based
separate it from all the other days.
Based on what? Yep, you're right. Remember, no buying, no selling, right? No buying, no selling, no working, no cooking, based off what we just read, right? Go to Hebrews chapter 10. This is another one too. I want you to look on the back of that flyer. We have our information because you said you was listening to us last night, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you look on the back of that flyer, we got a school. You know what Popcat?
I live in a pop.
There we go. All right. So, are you familiar with what side of a pop you live in?
Well, Park is so small they shouldn't have a side.
Okay.
But
Are you familiar with Executive Park? Executive Park Court?
Hunts Club.
Hunts Club?
Yeah.
That area?
Yeah.
All right. Our school right there. So, how far are you away from there?
Oh, not that far because I go to the 24-hour fitness right now.
There we go. So you say you ain't working tomorrow, right?
No, I'm not.
All right, here, read that. We got something for you.
The book of Hebrews chapter 10 verse 25.
Go ahead.
Not forsaking the assembly of yourselves together, as the manner of some is.
So the Bible says we're not supposed to forsake, meaning coming together. All right? Go ahead, read on.
But exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the days approaching.
So the Bible says we're supposed to exhort one another, right?
Right.
How am I exhort you, Marvin, if I'm only going to see you tonight? I can exhort you right now, but like, hey, bro, keep the commandments. Hey, stay strong in the Lord. The day of the Lord is coming, right? Destruction coming. But how am I do that tomorrow? How am I do that a week from now? How am I do that a month from now if I don't never see you again, Marvin?
Right.
You see that? So the Bible says the solution for that is we're supposed to come together. You understand?
That's right.
And the main day that we come together is the Sabbath day. You understand?
Right.
So Marvin, guess what? Tomorrow we're gonna be at the school. We're gonna be keeping the Sabbath day holy, just like God says, and we're gonna be assembling together, congregating. You understand that?
Right.
So guess what? In order to be righteous, like you said, you gotta come to the school, bro. You gotta start congregating. You understand that? You gotta start coming to the school so you can get built up in the laws of God.
That's right.
Because it's things that you didn't know, like today, right? You didn't know that you weren't supposed to buy and sell. Tomorrow you was probably gonna cook it up because you said, and you thought that Christ was talking about that's how it's lawful to do well on the Sabbath day, right? So you probably had a meal plan and everything tomorrow, huh? Yeah, you had a crock pot. You was gonna get the coals and everything for tomorrow.
Well, we're creatures
Whip it
of
up.
habit, so
What you say?
we're creatures of habit. So if I was going to a false church and I developed habits, it's hard to break those
And
habits.
guess what? We ain't saying nothing wrong with that because we grew up in that same type of environment. We was doing the same things, bro. But guess what? We changed from that lifestyle eventually. You see what I'm saying? Some things weren't just easy like that.
Right.
It took some time. But guess what? And that's why it's important for us to come together because guess what? When this brother right here, he been doing it for 3, 4, 5 years. I'm coming in 1 year. Guess what? He like, hey, bro, I remember them days. You know what I'm saying? He's like, but this is what I did to get over it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we're going to do for you. That's what other brothers have done for us. You understand? That's what our wives do to other sisters that come in.
Right.
We teach each other and we help exhort each other as we see the day approaching because we're in the last days. You understand that?
Get a beer.
Now, yes, sir. Go to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 27.
Bring it out.
Now, we're going to show you another thing too because we're speaking about righteousness, right?
Right.
We're going over how you're supposed to keep the commandments of God. Now, I got another one for you. Read that.
The book of Leviticus chapter 19 verse 27.
Go ahead.
Ye shall not round the corners of your head.
Right, read on.
Neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
So around the corners of your head is talking about balding your head, right? You're not supposed to make yourself bald. Now, the Bible also speaks of the beard also.
Right.
Read that part again about the beard.
Ye shall not mar the corners of thy beard.
So you hear that, Marvin? He says you're not supposed to mar the corners of your mar is talking about to destroy, right?
Right.
That natural line. You able to grow a beard, my brother? Now everybody should be able to. The Most High God allowed us to grow it naturally, right? With no problem.
Right.
So God says you're not supposed to take that beard off your face. Now, why is that? Because what's the difference between a boy and a man? When you look at them, usually, what do you see? You see that, Marvin?
I guess you're talking about facial hair.
There we go.
But then again, I see grown men without facial hair.
Now we're not saying everybody. Everybody ain't able to go to hold the Rick Ross. Everybody ain't able to get this right here. Everybody ain't able to. Like you see, my brother right here, right? He got a little something, something.
I'm looking at all four.
You know what I mean?
All four y'all.
There we go. But guess what though? We growing everything that we're able to. You understand that?
Right.
So this brother right here, he may not have what he got, but he growing whatever he can. You understand? I don't got what he got. Ours is different. Ours is kind of similar, but we grow whatever we can. You understand that?
That's right.
Why? Because we're trying to do what? We're keeping the commandments of God. You understand that, bro? We're not making ourselves bald. Now, the reason why God told us that is because when Moses delivered us from captivity, right? Where were we coming from? There we go. Leviticus 18, verse 1. Actually, verse 2.
Right.
So this is why he was saying that. It's because
let the people go.
there we go. Right? Read that. Leviticus 18 and 2.
The book of Leviticus chapter 18 verse 2.
Go ahead.
Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them,
Read
I am the Lord your God.
Right.
After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do.
It says after the doings of the land of Egypt where we dwelt. We was in Egypt for about almost 400 years. Almost over 400 years, right? So he says after the doings of the land of Egypt. Now, you mentioned just a while ago that these are the customs that you learn throughout your whole life, right?
Right.
So it's not going to be that easy to come off of it. Guess what? When we was in Egypt for 400 years, you don't think we learned their customs? It was the same exact thing. Guess what? The Egyptians were known for balding their head and they shaved their beards off. You understand that?
Right.
So God told us to what? You're not supposed to do that no more. You understand?
Right.
So it's the same thing here. Guess what? God says America is spiritually Egypt.
Right.
So the same things we were doing back then, we're doing to this very day.
Right.
We got to learn to stop following their customs. You see that? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So now I got another thing for you. You eat pork? Uh-oh. I see the look on your face. Go to Leviticus chapter 11. Oh, I see the look on your face,
I already
Marvin.
asked him, I said,
What
that
did he
means
say?
the dietary laws that the Bible says.
Gotta keep them too.
We already had the conversation because I said,
Okay.
Jesus said what goes in a man doesn't defile a man.
So what are you trying to say, Marvin? What do you mean? What are you trying to say? You trying to say that it don't matter if you
Well, maybe I shouldn't listen to the guys who monitor the Bible because
to my
commentate the Bible
Okay.
because the guy said when Jesus made that comment, so they say therefore Jesus declared all food clean.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that's what he
Now,
said.
okay.
I'm talking about that's what he
That's
said.
what he said, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't written in the word. But he said, but he made
Go
that
to 1
comment and said
Corinthians
Jesus
14.
declared all
No
food
confusion,
clean.
right? Now I'm gonna show you something.
Even the dirty cockroaches on the bottom of the sea.
So you can eat them too, right?
Yeah, that's what he said.
So
I'm saying, the guy
would you
said-
eat them though?
Huh?
Would you eat them?
Talking about, well, I don't eat shrimp, lobster.
No, I'm saying would you eat a cockroach?
Oh no, that's what they
No, I'm asking though. Would you eat a cockroach? Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Because it's nasty.
Exactly. So the Most High God made things that are clean and unclean. You see how simple that
I
is?
never ate a cockroach, but I'm quite sure that
But you have though. Have you ate lobster and shrimp?
Yeah.
So you have ate a cockroach. That's what they are.
Right.
That's what they are. They clean. They are called bottom feeders.
Right.
Shrimp, crab, lobster. They clean the residue from the ocean. They clean the poop from the ocean. They clean the ocean. You understand that? That's what pigs do also. Pigs are the ones, they're like a garbage disposal of the earth. They clean the filth of the earth. That's why you can feed them whatever. They're going to eat it. You understand that? Same thing as a vulture. Would you eat a vulture?
No.
You wouldn't, right? They have the same purpose as a pig and a lobster. They clean the earth. You understand that?
Right.
That was their purpose. So guess what? It don't matter what a commentator says on those Bible commentaries that you read.
Right.
What God says is that what? You're not supposed to eat it. You understand? But I'm going to show you something. Read that. 1 Corinthians 14:33.
That's why you gotta come to the school.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you gotta
The
come to the
book of
school.
1 Corinthians chapter 14 verse 33. For God is not the author of confusion.
You hear that? God, Job 14:4. God is not the author of confusion. So why would he say in Leviticus 11, thou shalt not eat the swine, thou shalt not eat in the seas nothing that don't have fins and scales. But then he gonna say, whatever goes into you can't defile you. That was talking about something else, and I'm gonna clear it up for you, because you're talking about Mark 7. Read Job 14:4.
The book of Job, chapter 14, verse 4.
Go ahead.
Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one.
Read it one more time.
Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one.
God says, who can make something that's unclean clean? Nobody can. So not even the man on the commentary. You understand that? They can tell you that, but guess what? That's confusion according to God. When God says, thou shalt not, that's what it is. You understand that? The Bible says he gives strict commandments. So whatever God says, that's what we got to live by. You understand that, brother? Now, I'm going to show you how. Go to Isaiah chapter 66. Isaiah 66 and verse 15. Now, remember, we spoke about coming together before the day comes, before judgment comes, right? Do you think you're going to be judged for eating pork? Hey, what's going on, man? You said when you came out. Hey, give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes of your time. We're trying to show you the greatest thing on the planet Earth. The greatest information you should know. Hey, my man. You know Kanye West? Yo, you know Kanye West? Come in 2 seconds, 2 seconds. All right, Marvin. So do you think we're going to get judged for eating pork when Christ come back? Because you're a little confused right now by that commentary. But we should go by what the Bible says, right? Isaiah 66, verse 15. Read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 15.
Also say it too.
Hold on, Marvin.
It's not leading.
I'm gonna ask you to explain what this is talking about once we read it. All right, read that.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with chariots, like a whirlwind.
So when God come back, he gonna come with chariots and a whirlwind. You know the things they call UFOs? That's what God's talking about. Those are his chariots. He says he's gonna come back with fire also. That's thermonuclear fire. All those missiles you see these nations gathering up together right now, that's for the day of the Lord. That's what the Lord is gonna use when he come back with judgment. Right? Read on.
To render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
Read on.
For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh.
Right, he coming back to kill. Read on.
And the slaying of the Lord shall be many.
Many people gonna die. Read on.
They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree, in the midst, eating swine's flesh.
Doing what?
Eating swine's flesh.
Eating swine's flesh. Read on. Go ahead.
And the abomination and the mouth.
You know what the abomination is? When you read it in Leviticus chapter 11. Anything that's unclean. So guess what? Lobster that you was talking about. That crab, that shrimp. God says you eating swine's flesh. You eating crab. You eating lobster. You eating turtle. Whatever you don't read in the Bible that's clean, God says it's going to be revenge for that. You understand that? He's going to come back with fire and judgment. You understand that, Marvin? And guess what? As our brother, we trying to save you out of that fire, bro. You understand that?
What that scripture you just read?
That's not. Read it one more time. Isaiah 66, start at verse 17.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 17.
Go ahead.
They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree, in the midst, eating swine's flesh.
Right? Eating swine's flesh. So guess what? There's judgment for that. You understand that, Marvin? God never says that it was okay to eat swine. You understand? He never said it was okay to eat pork. He never said it's okay to eat shrimp, crab, and lobster. He never said that. Catfish. You understand? God never says that. I know it's hard for you, Marvin, because you're like, oh no, that's what I was cooking tomorrow. But you gotta put it away, Marvin. You understand? But guess what? The Most High gave us more clean animals than he gave us unclean animals. You understand that, Marvin? So it ain't hard for us to do. We just got to have that will to do it, actually take that action, you understand? To actually do God's commandments, Marvin. It's not hard. The reason why is, like you said earlier, is because we've been doing this wrong all our lives. But now it's time for us to actually truly change and show the Lord that what? We are about keeping his commandments.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road. Purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.